All right, aloha, fellow Tulsi-crats, and welcome back. Save America, vote Tulsi Gabbard. I'm Dave. This is my channel. This is Tulsi's channel. It's everybody who really cares about this country's futures channel. Tucker Carlson and Tulsi Gabbard. They seem to get along great. That's because whether you like Tucker Carlson or not, much like Tulsi Gabbard, he is a no-nonsense commentator who has a strong belief system, and he gets it out there, and he tells it like it is. And look, Tulsi and Tucker are getting along so well because they both are against regime change wars. You may think, well, Tucker's just a Fox host neocon. Whatever you want to think about Tucker Carlson. You may not like him on all of your social and wedge issues because he expresses those as well, and those don't jive with the left wing and what the left says about certain things and trying to get into your head to change your thoughts about issues. Look, people, as I've said, I'm very libertarian. You want to do your thing over there? You want to arrange your family a certain way? It's none of my business, okay? Same thing with your body. If you're going to do something to your body that I may or may not approve of, again, not my call. It's your life. It's the consequences, if there are any. You face those consequences. I may be around to say, well, I wouldn't have done that, but I'm not going to tell you you can't do it. And I think that is the difference, though, between libertarianism and authoritarianism, where people are telling you that you have to do it the way I do it. You know, it's legalism. It's basically saying, I'm smarter than you, and I want to tell you how to fix your problem. And you're saying, I don't have a problem. So that debate, I think, that debate needs to come way, way down. When we've got these huge issues out there, like spending trillions on endless wars, we really need to put things into perspective. Kids need a good college education, right? Supposedly, even though I'm not a big believer in college, but if we're going to make college free, which is really an easy thing to do because we're already spending a ton of money on education, and all we got to do is spend a little bit more, and it would work the same way it works for kids going to high school. You know, it's not, same thing with the Medicare solution. Just opt everyone in who wants in on it. You know, I would say, here's the thing, a little caveat to that. If you don't want to go in, then you don't have to go in on it. That's what I would say. I would say your taxes are probably still going to go up, but if you don't want to go in on a very successful healthcare program that most people like, that's your choice. I would keep it open, or I would keep it where you don't have to actually join in. That's the only caveat I have for Medicare for all. I don't think you should make it mandatory for people to do it, but the people who want health insurance, yeah, just tell the other people your taxes will probably still go up a little bit, but all of these deductibles and premiums will go away. Bernie Sanders did a great job, by the way, describing what that looks like. So we're going to pick up this really great video here. Tucker Carlson talking about Tim Ryan, who literally got run over by Tulsi Gabbard during this debate. It was beautiful. It's so far still the most exciting thing in either debate. I know people this morning still talking about Kamala Harris beating up on Joe Biden, and everybody's saying, oh, well, Biden just lost and all this stuff. Biden didn't lose. Biden got all kinds of sympathy after that, and he's going to get sympathy. You know, I could go into why again, but I'm not going to. The more important debate was on night one, where finally somebody spoke up about endless wars.
Gabbard, the only veteran on stage, corrected him. Watch this.
Is that what you will tell the parents of those two soldiers who were just killed in Afghanistan? Will we just have to be engaged? As a soldier, I will tell you that answer is unacceptable. We have to bring our troops home from Afghanistan.
Look at Tim Ryan's face. Oh man, if anyone was not ready to be blindsided by the servant heart warrior That's who she is. I mean, people have said Wonder Woman, Iron Maiden. I like that one a lot too. Being the music guy too, Iron Maiden really appeals to me. But she is just like the servant warrior goddess. Okay, and she just look at. Oh, it doesn't get old. He just, all right, let's roll this.
We are in a place in Afghanistan where we have lost so many lives. We've spent so much money that's coming.
Those bags under Tim's eyes seem to be getting bigger. They seem to just keep drooping down further like, oh, stop, Tulsi. Tulsi here, truth bombing. I mean, the fact that she got this truth bomb out on Neo-Lib NBC, it's priceless.
Coming out of every one of our pockets, money that should be going into communities here at home, meeting the needs of the people here at home. We are no better off in Afghanistan today than we were when this war began.
All obvious points, none of which you're allowed to say out loud in Washington.
You're not even allowed to. See, this is why I like Tucker Carlson, okay? Tucker Carlson takes a sane position. He takes the other night. He's basically, by the way, Jimmy Dore has credited Tucker Carlson from preventing a war in Iran by going on there and saying, Mr. President, you're going to lose the next election. And it's true. I mean, I jumped off the train after the Syrian thing with the beautiful missiles that Brian Williams, not Brian Wilson. Brian Williams was opining about, quoting Leonard Cohen or something. And I let go. I was like, all right, this isn't what I voted for. I mean, these guys aren't threatening us. This is just, it's too, actually the war in Syria is too complicated for the average person to even understand. And what we did, I think, was just, it was symbolic, but it showed that he was willing to waste literally millions of dollars on nothing. So, so much for all you Tea Party folks that wanted, less government spending. You got more.
Now they make Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard seem like basically an untouchable. She is not allowed to get the kind of coverage that the rest of the Democratic candidates get. But the viewers loved it. At the debate, Gabbard's was the most searched name online. Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii joins us tonight. Aloha, Congresswoman Gabbard.
Aloha, Tucker.
So I couldn't help but notice, and I'm sure you don't want to play the victim in this, but that you had, despite the fact that...
Can I say something, and please don't take it as a sexist thing? Isn't she the most beautiful woman running for president? She just is. She's got really nice features, and she's strong. She's feminine, but yet she's got an air of toughness about her. And I think that's a threat to a lot of women out there who aren't any of those things. And I think, I'm thinking a little TYT stuff here. I know I've already covered that, but I mean, that would be a lot better to look at than Donald Trump every day. Oh my gosh. I mean, Trump is getting more bloated every day, and his orange is shining brighter, and his hair, of course. I mean, the people who like Trump didn't vote for him. And you shouldn't, by the way, you shouldn't vote for somebody based on their appearance. But I'm just remarking in the side-by-side, because Tucker is a bit of a doughboy, nice guy, but really just, anyway, I'll just want to keep going here, because I'm going to probably say some stuff it's going to be offensive to some people.
You won a number of online polls. You had the most Google searches, your name after the debate. You got some of the fewest minutes to speak of any of the 10 candidates on stage, and you were the only one who was essentially attacked personally by the moderators. Why do you think that was?
Look, it shows that there's a clear bias in place. I made the most of every minute that I had.
And that was the key. She made the most of every minute she had. There's a clear bias. Look, when Trump, for instance, says, the media is the enemy of the people, and everybody hates me and this and that. I mean, there's some truth to that, but he throws all the blanket statements out there, and now he's got that as part of his shtick or whatever. Tulsi, actually, there is real documented bias. There are hit pieces written about her. That piece that was written about Nico House, who supports Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, you can't even get near. I'm sure there's going to be a hit piece. Maybe if I get big enough, they'll start writing hit pieces on me. I really don't care. I mean, I would like my subscription level to go way up. So if hey, the HuffPo or somebody wants to contact me, they can make fun of me because I have a music channel and this and that. Who cares? You know what? Who cares? We only live once here on planet Earth. We make the most of it. Tulsi Gabbard is making the most of her chances here, and this is why we love her, because she's out there fighting, and now she's really in the thick of things. And it only took an exchange with a neo-lib, Tim Ryan, who literally got, somebody said, I don't know, something about a gently used Tim Ryan destroyed by Tulsi Gabbard. I can't remember what they said on Twitter, but it was funny, and it was right to the point.
I had the opportunity to have more time to address these important issues, but I want to just point out something from that clip that you played that I think is really important, where we hear a lot of politicians say this same argument that, well, we've got to stay engaged in the world, otherwise we'll be isolationists, as though the only way the United States can engage with other countries is by blowing them up or strangling them.
The only way that the United States can engage with other countries is blowing them up. Okay? Now you may think that's fairly simplistic language and it's not sophisticated, but it's spot on and people understand it. And then she's going to talk about strangling them with sanctions. And, everybody said, well, why can't we just use sanctions? Sanctions are great. Sanctions cause migrant crises. That's why we have one right now at our southern border, because sanctions have caused the way we've messed with that area in South America. I believe they call it like the Triangle or something. All of those countries down there, we are disrupting all of their commerce, everything that we're doing. So what are these people doing? And you wonder, and then it's framed as these illegal immigrants coming here. They need to speak English. They need to do all these things. They didn't want to come here in the first place. We caused the problem. So it's, but you can't speak truth like that, and, you get demonetized. Anyway, I'm going to get demonetized. Fun.
With economic sanctions, by smashing them and trying to overthrow their governments. This is exactly what's wrong with this whole premise and the whole view with which too many politicians, too many leaders in this country are viewing the United States' role in the world. How about the United States be a leader in the world, work out differences and build relationships with negotiations and diplomacy and finding common interests and seeing how we can work together so that we can stop sending our men and women in uniform into harm's way, serving in missions that do not serve the interests of the American people, that make our country less safe and actually end up causing more harm and more damage to the people in the countries where we wage these wasteful regime change wars.
Now, notice what Tucker Carlson does here. He does nothing. He lets her talk, which, compare Tucker Carlson to this other moron on this channel by the name of Leland Vittert on a Sunday show. Nobody knows who Leland Vittert is, and nobody could give a crap, especially after the exchange with the ma'am. I mean, I was just like, boom, I was like, what? Let her. So Carlson does the proper thing. She's making so many points and so much sense, he just lets her go. And this is the brilliance of Tucker Carlson. He's got nothing. Another host would say, well, I haven't spoken for the last 30 seconds. People need to hear the sound of my voice so they know that I'm still in control of this conversation and that I am the great host that people know that I am. Leland Vittert. Give me a break.
The kind of change in leadership that I'm seeking to bring as president.
You just mentioned sanctions. You're not questioning the ironclad bipartisan consensus in Washington that sanctions against Iran are morally righteous and can never be withdrawn, are you?
I am.
So Tucker Carlson does a Jimmy Dore here and just throws the sarcasm and says, "You're questioning the ironclad consensus in Washington, bipartisan census." See, this is another thing that you hear all the time. Well, both Democrats and Republicans support regime change wars, so it's the reason we should do it, because they both support it. Then you know what? We need a third party. Hello, we need another way. Independent party, something. Really? They both support it. So Tulsi Gabbard would go to the White House and she'd be attacked. She's already being attacked from both the left and the right, but mostly on the left, what I call the tribal or neo-left or neo-libs or whatever you want to call them. And some of the progressives too. They didn't like her apologizing and talking about how, even though Kamala Harris did it last night, they didn't like her saying that she didn't think Joe Biden is a racist. And I'm sorry. Again, I don't think Biden is a racist. I think what you do with Joe Biden, the same thing you do with Donald Trump, is you take them apart on policy and you win, like Tulsi did during this debate.
Absolutely. I think this is one of the things that is leading us closer and closer to a war with Iran, a war that would be far more devastating than anything that we saw in the war in Iraq. I served in Iraq in 2005 in a medical unit, and this was the height of the Iraq war. There were lots of American casualties almost every day, and I was confronted with that high, terrible human cost of war. A war with Iran would make that war with Iraq look like a picnic.
Okay, so quick note here. Nobody else running for president has the story to tell like Tulsi has. Nobody has her story. Nobody's story even comes close. Tulsi's level of experience, especially at her age, is unprecedented. Oh, I know. Mayor Pete. Let's talk about Mayor Pete, Mr. CIA covert ops. Yeah, because that's just like going into, a hot zone like Tulsi Gabbard did. Yeah, not so much.
Escalating these crippling sanctions, withdrawing from the Iran nuclear deal, designating Iran's military as a terrorist organization, something unprecedented, and continuing to deploy more and more U.S. troops. The neocons in the Trump administration and Saudi Arabia and Netanyahu have...
Oh no! She said Netanyahu, Israel. Wait. See, I love this woman. She just called out Israel. Oh, the sacred cow of all sacred cows. Can't do that. That is so... Look, people, we need to educate ourselves on the whole idea that the United States has to have an alliance with somebody who we don't need to be aligned with some of these countries. In Israel, our relationship with them, it's important to certain groups of people in this country, and they don't even know why it's an important alliance. And Tulsi here calls them out. It's just awesome to behold.
Created a situation where it's going to be very difficult for President Trump to avoid a war with Iran. They have built all the building blocks, placed the dynamite, and lit the fuse, and it's going to be up to Donald Trump and his leadership whether or not he is going to cut that fuse and say, hey, we need to get back on track and put the interests of the American people and our country first.
Not going to happen.
Avoid a war with Iran. Get back into that Iran nuclear agreement.
This is why the neocons hate you more than anybody. More than anybody. They're writing pieces about you right now.
But
So Tucker has kind of a reaction like I would if I were interviewing her and I asked her these questions. I don't know if I'd crack up like that, but you know what I love about Tucker? Again, the guy isn't this sourpuss, moribund, he's enjoying his life, even amidst the stuff going around him. And it's he's a good guy to watch. And you may not agree with him on every topic, but again,
You know what?
Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, nice to see you
Tucker,
tonight. Yes.
Nice to see you. As you pointed out really quick, this is an issue that conservatives, Republicans, Democrats, progressives, this is an issue that transcends party lines. And I think that's where the leadership I bring brings the opportunity to unify the country to make this kind of change that's important to every single American in this country.
That's exactly right. There's nothing partisan in the slightest about this at all.
Okay. So there, again, agreement, consensus, great interview. You come away liking Tulsi Gabbard more. You come away, by the way, liking Tucker Carlson. And if you don't, I don't know, I can't help you with that because it's the progressive poison gets in there. Oh, Tucker Carlson's anti-this, anti-that. You can have differing opinions and not be a jerk of a human being. Okay, that's just, I know it's a hard concept in the year 2019 to kind of grapple with that. The most important thing about this is Tulsi Gabbard, who would never get this kind of interview on any other network, gets a good almost 6 minutes, and she gets to do most of the talking. Bravo, Tucker Carlson, home run, Tulsi Gabbard. More to come as her campaign rolls on and apparently picks up more steam. All right, I'm done, and I'll be back soon. See you then.